Well, hello there. Welcome back to Mossy Roots Farm. I lost this camera for a couple months. It was in a bag that I don't usually use. It's got some GoPro parts in it, but I never get into it. Yeah, well, apparently I did get into it and I left this camera there. But we're back. I'm doing something a little bit different. Usually I hold the camera right up close to it, but I have kind of like a monopod for a DSLR camera, and I got that, and I'm using it as my selfie stick. So as you can see, our girls don't really look super skinny. You might be able to see, like the one that's walking away from me now that I was trying to get a good shot of, you can kind of see her ribs a little bit. I don't know if you can really tell. Yeah, you can kind of just barely make out the outline of some ribs there. You can maybe just barely make out the outline of some ribs over here. But for the most part, they're real fat. Like, I'm not concerned about this young lady here because, yeah, you might be able to see a couple rib ripples, but she's so wide that she looks like she's okay. Her spine doesn't really look that bad. Yeah, her hips might protrude a little bit more than her mom's over here, but it doesn't look like it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, we're getting aggressive over some feed. Is that what we're doing? We're brats. I got a bunch of bratty cows. But even our big ones here really don't look that bad at all. They're maybe a little bit on the fatter side for what some might want, what some might like. But we're going into winter, so we don't particularly care. And there's a possibility that all of these are bred. We haven't got our results back from our blood test, but there's a possibility they're all bred, and a little extra weight on them would be nice. Here's our Jersey boy. All right. He's a sweet little thing. Real nice. You can kind of tell he's a little on the... Get out of here, flies. You can kind of tell he's maybe a little on the thinner side. You could see his spine just a little bit more there. You can see his hips just a little bit more and his rump just a little bit. But he's a Jersey, which is a dairy breed, and they are notorious for not being able to process food the same way that our beef cows are over there. Those are an Irish Dexter, those little ones, and the big ones is a Hereford and an Angus. But he's not able to process the food the same way. He needs higher protein because his body is not designed to put on weight, to put on muscle. Now, yes, he probably is going to be a very fine cow, especially when we decide to make him into hamburger. But he's just different. So he's a good indicator for us at how the pasture health is. Because right now you can't see any of his ribs. Just 3 or 4 days ago you could see each individual rib, and they were just starting to sink in just a little, where there's not really a whole lot going on. And we put him over into one of the pastures over there. So historically, this farm has never been divided. Those white posts up here, those never were there. Grandpa never wanted to do that. He did at one point have some of this divided off, but he took that down years ago. He used to just let him get all over all of this, which there's nothing wrong with that, except that your pastures don't do so hot. I showed you guys just over there how the pastures are barren and even dirt in some places. Well, look over here, just on the other side of the fence. There's the top of my boot. I got plants. I don't know how well that's going to come out. I got plants that are up to the top of my boot. Now, yes, that is just in one patch. There's other patches where it's bare, or mostly bare, like that patch there. But this is at least getting better. This was the first year that we really decided to section off all this stuff. So this is another piece that we've segregated off. We left this alleyway open because we didn't want to have cows from here to here to here, because our water trough is back behind the barn. So we decided to do it in a way where we could let our cows into here, but keep them out of this little section that we're in, or keep them out of that little section with the white fence posts over there. So we had a little alleyway through here. Now, this has never historically produced a whole lot of grass because it's on the hillside and the sun's always baking down on it, and it doesn't get much shade from these trees. So we were okay with sacrificing this maybe 20, 30, 40 foot strip, whatever this is down through here. We were okay with that. Now we thought about moving our fence from that post up to this post, but our fear is our cows might not want to go through this small alleyway here. So if we kept them out of here, you know, yes, we might add this much extra to our, is what everything used to look like. Now the cows have only been in here for 3 days, and you see they've trampled a lot of this down. They've eaten a lot of it down. They've really gone through here and started to clean this place up. Now our main concern is that we don't have a whole lot of hay bales this year. Yes, it was a good year for hay. We got rain at just the right time, but part of our hay field we're splitting with the farmer down the road. He's doing row crops. He did corn last 2 years, then he's doing soybeans, and as soon as the soybeans go down, he's going to put some spring wheat in them, and then he's going to harvest that in July and put it back to hay field so he can go to the other side of the field and he can do all that. And our concern is that we might not have enough hay for our cows. The year before when he did this, we had a bunch of extra hay from previous years that we were able to feed, and we were okay. The year before that, we only had 2 cows, so it didn't matter how many bales we had, we were okay, hence why we had leftovers. Well, now we have probably 8 or 10 cows, and we've got to make sure that we have enough feed. Well, our thought is tall enough that if we get a dusting of snow, or even an inch of snow, our cows could still eat it. Yes, this might not be the most protein-packed plant here, but anything that'll fill their stomachs is better than eating snow. So that's what our goal is to hopefully keep this mostly tall, let this kind of have a break, and as soon as the farmer puts down our hay field out there, we're going to try and get them into rotating that even further, because the cows will eat it this fall and everything will grow new this spring. I don't know how well you can see that beautiful field of purple-topped clover, but that's what we're going to let our cows eat as soon as we get a 3rd cut of hay. We've been lucky this year and been able to get a 3rd cut of hay, where in years past we don't normally do that. Now I'm not 100% sure if that's just farming styles, because my grandfather definitely did everything old school, and this farmer down the road, he's done dairy cows, so he does things from a more dairy standpoint. So it's kind of interesting to see that. We never did 3rd cut. It was always 1st and 2nd. But 1st cut for us in Ohio was always June or July. And I know plenty of people that do 1st cut in May. So we definitely did things different. We would do one then and one towards now, which is September time. End of August, beginning of September, somewhere around in there. That's when we would do our cuts. Again, nothing wrong with that, but that's the old school mentality versus the more dairy side of things, where you need the silage for the dairy cows and you want the higher protein for the dairy cows. Well, thanks for watching Mossy Roots Farm. We'll see you again next time.